back to Nerd Podcast, episode 71. This time we're gonna take a trip to Willy's Wonderland together with a quiet Nick Cage. As usual, I got Angel and Summer with me here. How you guys doing?
I am tired, but other than that, I am good.
Angel?
I'm alright.
Oggy is missing. We don't have a clue where he is, really.
Probably Nam, like y'all always.
Yeah, his vacation is over.
Oh no.
But we got a fourth crew member here today. Gray, how are you doing?
I'm doing quite alright. Thank you for inviting me on the show, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. Okay, so do we have any recently seen? Some you got 20 movies you want to talk about, right?
Oh, you know it. I have this one and the other one that I forgot, you know.
Yeah, you got like
good
5
memories.
Nick Cage movies lined up to talk about. You're such a big You're such a big Nick Cage fan. I cannot get you to shut the fuck up about him. Like, dude, stop the fucking man crush, alright?
Like every podcast, I find a way to mention his name.
Yeah, you fucking stalker.
Oh my goodness.
What the fuck? Okay. But, yeah, you don't have anything, I suppose.
No, I don't.
No. Gray, do you have anything?
For recently seen, I'm gonna go with, well, I'm not really that big of a horror buff, so most of the stuff that I usually watch is usually lighthearted and comedy. But I would have to say, Oliver and Company was one that I particularly enjoyed. Haven't seen it before, and it's a pretty good one.
What was the title of it?
Oliver and Company.
Over and Company.
You know,
Disney.
the red cat that gets adopted by a gang of dogs.
Oliver and...
Oh, Oliver and okay, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's a feel-good movie. A dark end, but, you know, it's feel-good.
Essentially, yeah.
So, I've been watching a shit ton of movies, both with Gray and without him. So I did watch, let's see, yeah, that's one we talked about. I think I haven't mentioned anything after that. So, we watched Pokemon the Movie 2000. Nostalgia top notch. I watched some newer Scooby-Doo movies. Complete shit. It's kind of like Fast and the Furious, like random shit to keep it going. It's like please let it die. All right, it was good at one point. Now it's not. Stop it.
I would have to add on that I also have watched some of those Scooby-Doo movies that you have mentioned, and my goodness.
Terry's not good.
Yeah.
We watched Wrong Turn 5 and 6 together.
Yes.
After
have to
watching
say.
the whole series. It's his first watch.
Yeah, I mean, I sat through the first one. I thought it was pretty good, you know? Like, real evil that, you know, is horrifying is something that you can kill, but it just keeps coming back for some reason, which is why I kind of particularly enjoyed 1 and 2, and 3 to a lesser effect. But I would have to say that 4, 5, and 6, it was as predictable as they came. It was just a real schlock fest. Like, if you were truly interested in the series, you'll watch it, but you don't watch the series for the lore, or you don't watch it for the storytelling. Because, yeah.
Yeah, it's slasher trash.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, the movie is making money. Let's pump out even more.
And
Sixth
I can't
one
even
is
feel
more-
bad for any of those characters. They're all stupid as hell.
Yeah, the 6th one is more like a softcore porn movie as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. It's a softcore porn that tries to have a plot a very, very dastardly plot that ends up going halfway to nowhere and then takes a 180-degree turn straight off of a cliff.
Hey, I have I have two comments on those movies. 5 is this is like you shouldn't have to sit through this movie. It's that bad. And
I think
the sixth one is.
I think the 5th movie is kind of good because of Doug Bradley. He's the guy who played Pinhead in the first 8 Hellraiser movies.
I mean, he's good as Pinhead, but nah, didn't like it. The 6th one I commented was stupid people die, lol.
No, the fourth one was stupid people die, lol. Like, the only one that should have survived didn't get away. Like, at all.
Yeah.
Instead, they chose to sacrifice themselves for the greater good, which I was like, you are above these people by a long shot, honestly.
I think the 4th one is good up until a certain point when the characters makes one of the most stupid fucking decisions I've ever seen in a slasher movie.
Yes, they have the. Are we allowed to talk about spoilers?
Yeah, well, we usually spoil the movie we are covering, but we usually try to avoid spoilers in the recent scene. But it's a pretty old movie, so go ahead.
So, I like how in the 4th one they have the killers cornered. Like, haha, we got you now. Well, now we can have our vengeance. And then that one girl's like, no, we shouldn't do it. It's immoral. I'm like, morality went out the window as soon as the first person dropped from a freaking barbed wire noose.
Yeah.
Oof.
And then didn't one of the guys like, yeah, I'm gonna guard them, and he falls asleep.
Yeah, he
Yep.
falls asleep and he thinks, oh, they're not going to get out of here. They're not going to get
Yeah. Yeah.
He should have just tossed the match while they weren't looking and just called it a day. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
He had no reason at all to uphold his promise to that one chick.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
Although-
No brain, all stupid.
Although the
Yeah.
way that it ended, I will have to say, comedy gold. Like, yay, we finally got away, we're free. Gets decapitated by a barbed wire fence.
Oh, yeah. That ending is used in another movie as well. That ironic decapitation kind of thing. I'm not gonna mention which movie, but
Yeah,
I
we're
think I
probably
know
gonna
which
talk
one
about
you're
it
talking
later.
about.
You definitely know. We have watched it
Yeah.
together.
yeah.
That I know.
Yeah. You thought it was so hard. You thought it was so hard watching it the first time. Then a few years later, you come back to me like, "Yeah, I watched it. It was really good." I'm like, "Who are you? What have you done with my little brother?"
Times change, man.
Yeah. So, anyways, I watched a movie called Next Door Neighbor. It's about a elderly lady that's it's a disease. I can't remember this disease, but she has it, and she becomes close to her the new neighbors moving in. It says that it's a horror flick, but it's definitely more of a thriller. No one here would like it. I watched 1, 2, and 3 Ghoulies. It's a creature feature from the 80s. It's even earlier than Gremlins.
Oh.
And I would say if you want to watch a creature feature, yes, watch Gremlins instead. It's essentially the same movie, but the first one was second one was really good. Third one was complete and utter ass. It was a clear cash grab.
I've heard that the third one is pretty shit. I got them lined up on my watch list.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna watch them at some point. But
Yeah. And then me and Gray watched Wolf Creek and Wolf Creek 2. It's the first time watch for both of us.
I think, yeah, I've seen the first one. I don't know if I've seen the second one, but I saw the first one when it was new, so I can't really remember much about it. Is it that based on some true events?
It's supposedly based on some true events going down in Australia. You know, like
Yeah.
there's a massive crater in Australia that's apparently called Wolf Creek,
Yeah.
where people go to visit whenever like they're traveling around.
There's a
Yeah.
TV series of that as well, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Mm.
I think it came out after the first one, or might have been after the second one. I'm not sure. I thought both were boring and pretty much torture porn at a certain degree.
Yes,
I
because
think, was
at
it
the
the
end-
first one released like at the tail end of the Saw franchise or something, or like in the middle of it, or
It probably was. I can double check.
I think so.
It came out 2005, and the second one came out 2013. There's apparently a third one coming out next year.
Huh. The first one came out in the middle of the Saw Saw franchise then.
Yeah.
What do you think of them, Gray?
So I would like to say much of the same thing. It was pretty much just torture porn. A lot of it is just depraved in a sense that only a certain degree of people and fans could probably like it. But for someone who's not really that much into horror, I would have to say that it's not my cup of tea in any way, shape, or form. Mostly due to the fact that it's just you watch people suffer for about an hour after 30 minutes of exposition and them faffing about, you know?
Mm.
Yeah, so even in the like horror fans, there is a specific audience that it's targeting.
I mean, very likely. But I wouldn't know that much about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the first few Saw movies, from what Angel tells me, is that they're kind of they're halfway decent. They're pretty good for their time because it actually had some nuance to it. But later Saw movies were like kill for the sake of killing, and it actually followed that through a narrative thread. Like, first dude got old. You know, he had to find a replacement. Then he finds a replacement, only to find out later that she's just completely fucked up and wants to kill indiscriminately.
Yeah. Like, I haven't seen a lot of them. I think I've only seen one. But I've heard a lot of people talk about them, and I think, like, the first few ones are, like, they actually have a chance of escaping, which is the main difference between some of the movies.
Like-
Most of the movies, the games are built so they can survive, but
Yeah.
they need to do sacrifices through the flesh or whatever you want to call it. You know.
Yeah, and some are just rigged or not meant to survive.
Yeah, well, that's not the main point of the games. It's just
Yeah.
people that comes too close to the truth and needs to be taken out of the overall game, so to speak.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
So the Saw movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mom wanted to talk.
Yeah. Have you watched anything else?
I have a lot more.
Yeah.
The Boy Behind the Door. I do not remember this one at the back of my hand, but my notice says that it's a glorified thriller. I'm gonna double check. Oh yeah, this one. It's about two boys that gets kidnapped by someone that I assume is essentially someone selling kids to pedophiles.
Oh.
Glorified horror or a glorified thriller. Really, it says that it's a horror, but it's not. I watched Detective Pikachu. Cause like I've been so against this movie, like I'm never gonna watch it. It's shit. Blah 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 blah. It's great. It's actually good. It made me laugh. It's like, damn, and the effects are amazing. It really looked like the Pokemons were walking around with people. It's my fucking dream world.
Yeah, like they actually took effort to make this movie and
Oh, yeah.
didn't just make a cash grab out of it.
Granted, I would like to see someone else voicing Pikachu, but otherwise, I recommend anyone watching it, really.
Wasn't it Ryan Reynolds who did
It
the
was.
voice for Pikachu?
What's his face? He plays
Deadpool. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't working for me. It was like, I would have preferred seeing someone else. But yeah, it's good. Then I watched the new Boss Baby. For anyone that doesn't know what that is, it's an animated.
Boss Baby.
So the Boss Baby and the Boss Baby, the family business is about babies apparently have their own corporation and they have their own office and whatnot, and when you grow up, you forget all about it. It's really weird.
It's kind of like Baby Geniuses
Yeah.
to a certain degree.
Well, the whole thing that I understood about Boss Baby is that they're trying to maintain the monopoly on cuteness, and they typically have to go to war on different things, depending on what it is. Like, for example, you know how puppies and kittens are cute?
Mm-hmm.
That's their main competition, and at some point they discover a plot. In the first movie, at some point they discover a plot to, overthrow that, and the babies feel like they're threatened in that department. So they pretty much have to go about many means of fixing it, which is why there's also a TV series about it.
Yeah, I mean they're just milking the money out of it because because what's it called? Because the first movie was so good that everyone started loving it. They started to milk it with a TV series too. It was meh. Could have been better. They should have stopped at the first one. The Incredibles. Oh yeah, we watched The Incredibles.
Incredibles is really good.
Not as good as I wanted to remember it being.
Yeah, but it was still good.
Glass and all that.
Yeah, it didn't age well.
Really didn't.
And we watched a French movie, but we watched it with English subtitle. No, not subtitles. English
Audio, English dub.
Yeah.
It was
Ernst et Celestine. Incredibly, like the art was incredible. I think it was all hand drawn, probably. Like watercolors and shit. Gorgeous. Storyline was kind of hit a little bit too hard, but it was good.
What's that about that elderly couple?
No, it's about a bear and a rat.
Ah, okay.
So
never mind.
So the whole premise between that was that the bears and the rats hate each other with a passion, and one is guilty of crimes against the rats, and the other one is guilty of crimes against the bears. However, both of them are both wanted by both parties. So eventually, they have to. I
mean, don't give away the whole plot.
I know. They have to figure something out somewhere in the middle, and that's where it actually ramps up, really.
It's a good movie.
Oh yeah, recommended to anyone who has access to that.
Yeah, it was hard to find, but it was definitely worth it.
What was the title of it again?
Ernst et Celestine. The English title is Ernest and Celestine.
Okay. Yeah.
there's a Swedish title for it, but that's completely different. You should watch it with at least English. Watch the Addams Family from '91. It's so fucking good.
The live action one.
Yeah. Fester is missing.
Yeah. I haven't seen that, but I know of it.
It's so good. You should watch it. And me and Gray watched Event Horizon.
Yep.
Oh, that's one. That one is good. That one is good.
Starring Lawrence Fishburne and that one professor from Jurassic Park.
Sam Neill. It's his name.
You want to state your opinion about it first?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was really good for what it was, and it was really captivating, I would have to say. Like, you never knew what was going to happen next, and you never really knew what exactly went on until the middle of the movie, and even then, the mystery didn't stop there, because they already established what they were going to do. But it hits you harder, but in the best way possible. Because a lot of this is stuff that you wouldn't expect, but if you read between the lines and caught all the missing details, it would make sense at the end. It's really good story-wise, and I would have to say that the acting and effects were spot on for the time. It was a treat overall.
I actually think it aged pretty well.
I think that one is done by Paul W. S. Anderson, who went on to do AVP, Aliens vs. Predator, and he also did the Resident Evil live action films as well.
Yeah.
And the latest one he did was Monster Hunter.
As well, I mean, I'm a big sci-fi horror crossover fan. Like, Alien is up there on my top list. It is up there on my... not it. The Thing is up there on my top list. This one is definitely up there on my top list. It gave me Alien vibes when I was watching it. I was like, there's some good shit. Sorry, I'm playing with a fidget spinner and my dog is really interested.
Oh, let's not forget about the time that we watched the Resident Evil movies.
Oh yeah, we watched the first Resident Evil movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a lot of movies that I think he should watch since I'm a horror buff and he's not. Oh yeah, for those who don't know, me and Gray are dating. That's why we were watching movies together. Ow. Ow.
Have you played any of the Resident Evil games, Gray?
I have not, sad to say. I have 4 in my library, but I have not played any of them. Well,
that's it. You should sit down and play that because it's good.
Hold on. I have played 5. I played 5 co-op. That's it. That's literally it. Mostly because one of my friends sat me down and said, well, we have to play this at some point. And I said, well, I'm down, I guess.
He's like, okay.
Resident Evil 5 is good, so...
Yeah.
What did
Never
you
gonna
think
forget
about
the boulder punching, though.
Come again?
Never gonna forget the boulder punching. Ever.
What did you think about the first film?
I thought it was pretty okay. I kind of zoned out a couple times in it. But I would say the action-y bits were really well done. And though the lore doesn't... Well, the story, it kind of fell off in some parts, but that's mostly due to some people's stupidity. And other times, it's just out there. But it all makes some sort of sense. Like, they're trapped in a place that's just completely dangerous and completely devoid of life now. For one reason or another. And the place itself is aware of what will happen if the people that got in there had their way. So not only are they being stopped by whatever's in the halls, but they're also being stopped by whatever's at the center. So it makes for really good action segments, and whew, it was intense at times. I'm gonna say that for free.
Yeah.
Like, are we allowed to say spoilers on this one, or?
Yeah.
It's really old. If people haven't
It's-
watched it at this point, they can only
Yeah.
blame themselves.
Yeah, it's
The hallway.
almost 20 years
The hallway
old,
was the
so-
thing that got me. You know the hallway.
Yay!
the laser-
cutting. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit rocked me in my seat. Not gonna lie. That's some Tomb of Annihilation shit right there.
It was great. It was top notch.
Yeah.
The first Resident Evil movie is actually really good. They take some liberties with the story, so the
They
movie
do.
is not based entirely on the first game. And
Oh, yeah.
they've added some things to it as well.
Well,
So,
aside from all of that, I would have to say that if you want to do action horror as a movie, that's one of the great places to start alongside Alien or Alien 2.
Well, it gets more and more ludicrous and ridiculous as this series goes on.
Oh, that much I understand. Kind of like how Resident Evil went off the rails around 5 and 6 and stopped
Yeah.
being actual horror and started becoming action.
But they've gone back to their horror roots with 7 and 8, so...
They were a bit confused there for a while on what they wanted the game to be, in what genre.
I think it's more like the action movies. Action games were more interesting. I guess at a certain point, and then like okay, they are not doing as good as the horror franchise did. Because I mean, a lot of people shit on the 6th game, like on Resident Evil 6.
There are worse installments in the franchise overall than
Yeah.
6.
I mean, I've only ever played 5 and seen parts of 4, but
Mm.
I would
4
have to
is
say
one of the
that.
best ones.
I mean, I can't deny you there. I mean, I just watched some gameplay and I was rocked. Imagine if I actually played the game. So,
I have like 3 more movies. So
Yeah.
we watched a romantic comedy called She's All That.
yes.
I've watched a parody movie of it called like Not Another Teen Movie. So I knew everything about the movie before we even like got 5 minutes into it.
Lovely.
It was alright.
It was alright. It's no 10
Uh,
Reasons, but it's alright.
Yeah, we watched Miscongeniality. Fuck.
Can I say it?
Yes, please.
Miscongeniality.
Yes, Miscongeniality.
With Sandra
Hard
Bullock.
word.
Yes.
It's also known as Miss Secret Agent in Sweden.
Yeah.
I got both of them. I love those movies. They're fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I wanted to do something light-hearted to watch, and I mean Sandra Bullock, she's so good. Oh man, and her role in that movie, man, it's great.
It is.
And then me and Joseph went to the theater on Friday. I think it was the Swedish premiere for Escape Room No Way Out.
It was.
Yeah. My opinion, without spoiling the movie, I could have watched it at home. Wasn't worth going to the theaters for. But I think Joseph has other things to say.
What was that the last movie or?
Yeah, that was the last one. The next one is the one we're gonna talk about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I got a bunch of things here as well. Escape Room Tournament of Champions, which were the one we went to cinema and saw, which had They retitled it in Sweden to Escape Room 2 No Way Out, which I think is a way better title for the film.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of fun. It was basically more of the same from the first film. It was more of the same from the first film, but it had a higher budget. It was more outlandish and really over the top and stupid. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But besides that, I finished up season 6 of Dexter, and I plowed through season 7 of it as well. So I just got season 8 left before the new season in November. I also saw Serial Mom together with Mom. It's a black comedy slasher from, I think it was 1994. It's about this woman who's very much a Mary Sue kind of character. You know, she's almost perfect in everyone's eyes, but under the surface she's a real asshole, and she's also a serial killer. And the reasons why she kills people are so fucking stupid. The whole movie is just a lot of fun. You guys should really check it out. I laughed out loud when I was watching that one.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, it was absolutely hilarious. And in preparation for my second visit to the theater this weekend, I rewatched Candyman from 1992. The original Candyman might be one of the most unsettling horror movies that has ever been made, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It
Because
got this- yeah.
I was gonna say me and Angel have watched this as well, but go ahead with that first. Sorry for the interruption.
It got this thick atmosphere throughout it, and I've seen this movie 20 plus times, so I know exactly what's going to happen, but still the first 45 or so minutes managed to make me feel uncomfortable while I was watching it. And I think that is a movie we have to cover on the podcast at some point, so I won't go any further into it, but
I mean, if you haven't watched it at this point, then go fuck yourself.
don't go fuck yourself.
I'm sorry.
Continue listening.
But in all reality, you are missing out on a good experience.
Yeah,
Yes.
I am well aware.
You should really check it out, Sammy. Candyman is up there as one of the best ones.
We do have it on my list.
Yeah. And with that being said, I went to the cinema all alone last night and watched the new Candyman. I won't go into any spoilers or details about it, but I can say that when I just left the theater, I was like, yeah, that was a 7.5 out of 10. But then a couple of hours later, I had started to think a little bit more about the movie, and the rating went down to a 5 because of a certain thing, which I can't say, otherwise I spoil the film. But yeah, it's now nowhere near close to the original, but it's a fairly decent modern supernatural slasher movie.
So, go ahead.
No, I was finished.
All right. So, I really don't want to talk about this, but I feel like I kind of have to. Hey, love. Remember that movie Tragedy Girls?
Oh God, no,
Exactly.
no. I actually watched that after Angel mentioned it in her recently seen, and
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, Joseph will totally like this.
I fucking hated it.
Like, there was no justice all throughout that film.
Well, the kills were kind of good,
They were.
but
Like, I'm not gonna fault them for that.
what ruined the movie was the two main lead characters. The actresses were good in their characters, but they were so fucking annoying, the characters, that it ruined the film. There were, there were no redeeming qualities to them at all.
Like, they just backstabbed and killed for petty ass reasons, and is just no. I can't even. Like, I saw that movie, and I'm like, I hope they get their just desserts at some point. Then I saw the credits roll. I'm like, gosh dang it. Just nobody got what they deserved in that movie.
Time for a remake.
Dude,
Well,
if they remake that, I hope they actually add a good ending to that. Like, the rest of the movie could have been fine, but the ending is like, it's not rewarding. It's not good by any means. Like, everyone did their part, yes. Everyone in that movie was good, in my opinion. Like, they played their roles well.
Yeah,
But-
they did, but the characters were so fucking annoying and irritating that yeah.
Poorly written.
And their fucking reasoning for their killings as well.
Yeah.
So the whole thing about it was that somehow their kills turned into clouds? Question mark?
Mm.
Like, every time they killed someone, there would be a larger following on their thing because they would have something new to talk about, I guess. But
Mm.
I don't know. They just generally went after random people that they thought, oh, this person here, they think they're more, they think they're superior to us? Hmm? Well, I wonder how superior they'll feel whenever they got a knife in their back.
Wow.
That's pretty much the whole reasoning as to why they do the things they do. I mean, they're Mary Sue's in the opposite direction.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I don't mind spoiling that part of the movie because just like I said, everyone does their job. It's just not good.
Yeah.
It could have worked if they made the characters more redeemable towards the end. Like
Yep.
if they were assholes throughout the movie, but as the movie progressed, they started to realize, oh shit, what the hell are we doing?
No,
I think-
they're
Wasn't it like one was thinking like, what the hell are we doing, and the other one was like, oh, I want the clouds.
It seemed like it, but then she's like, nah.
I've always
Nah,
been a bad
close.
bitch.
Like, nah, cloud is more important.
Yeah.
Like, good actors shift script
Yeah,
to a
Yeah,
certain degree.
yeah,
essentially, yes.
yeah.
I especially feel bad for the sheriff. My gosh, someone of his age does not need to go through all of that.
Didn't his kid get killed or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
They do y'all mind if I spoil it?
I don't care. I hate that film.
So the whole thing about that was that at the very end of the movie, everyone was at this prom night, and these two girls decided to go. Only they had different pretenses at first on the outside. Then they meet up in the backstage of the theater, where the person they originally kidnapped was going to kill them. Then they thought, nah. Then they just shoot him. And then the other dude's all like, wait, you can still change. You can still go back to being you. You can still be a decent person. And they're like, nah, I'm a bad bitch through and through with my sister over here. She's like, aww. And then they just gleefully murder him by tying him up in a noose. And then the night goes on, and every single person in the gymnasium realizes that the doors are locked.
Oh
And then
yeah,
the chicks
yeah.
set fire to the building.
Oh yeah, yeah.
and the sheriff's kid was in that building, and the sheriff was never able to find out who did it. I mean, he had his ideas, but
he didn't have any proof, yeah.
I mean, I love the fact that they kidnapped the fucking serial killer at the start of the movie.
yes, that was a really good plot point. Sadly, that's
I
the best
don't-
plot point.
But
I don't want to be that guy,
Mm.
but we're 40 minutes in and we haven't even gotten to Josef's turn of recently seen. I
What?
think we should move on.
I finished my recently seen.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, we still haven't even gotten to the synopsis. So I think we should...
Roll the trailer, yeah. we should.
Nah.
Not to be that guy, but you know...
Old man
We're almost an
zombie
hour
has
in and we
spoken.
haven't...
Wait, what?
Old man zombie has spoken.
Yeah.
Like... I don't want to be that guy, but we're almost an hour in and we haven't even talked about the freaking movie in question.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll just place a timestamp right here, so that we can let people know when we're actually talking.
Nah.
Yeah.
Okay, are you guys ready for the trailer then?
Yep.
Okay, here
yeah.
it is.
Welcome to Willy's Wonderland. Spend the night cleaning Willy's Wonderland, and I will pay to have your car fixed. Deal? You are officially on staff. Let's get the hell out of here. I can't stand to hear a grown man scream.
This place has a dark history. I know the bullshit story they told you. It's a lie. You're here to be a human sacrifice. Have you been listening to a word I've been saying? He's gonna die in here, but he won't listen to me.
The machines got out. Nobody is safe. Put your balls on, Evan. We're going to Willy's.
He's not trapped in here with them. They're trapped in here with him.
It's your birthday, and we want you to have fun. It's your birthday, so let's party. It's birthday time.
I enjoy a man of few words.
A quiet traveler finds himself stranded in the small town of Hazeville, Nevada, when his car breaks down. Unable to pay for the repairs he needs, he agrees to spend the night cleaning the since long closed down family fun center, Willy's Wonderland. However, this Wonderland has a dark secret that he soon will discover as he finds himself locked in and forced into an epic battle with the animatronic mascots that roam the halls and corridors of Willy's Wonderland. Okay, I'm gonna go with Angel first on this one. What did you think about it?
I thought it was meh, it sucks donkey dick, and Nick Cage is just not funny. He's boring.
Okay, we lost contact with Angel. Zombie, what are your thoughts?
Well,
Suck my dick.
want to finish your piece?
Honestly, I just don't like Nick Cage and this movie. Nah. Like, I wouldn't even have liked it if it was Arnie as a main character. It's clearly based off like Five Nights at, or like inspirational wise, it's taken from Five Nights at Freddy's, like clearly.
I read up on that actually, and both the writer and the director said that there isn't any connections between the games and the film. But I also found out that there is an Five Nights at Freddy's based movie on the way. And one of the production companies of the film is Blumhouse.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and say
Ooh.
that's bullshit. But yeah, if Blumhouse is making the movie, it's definitely gonna be good. Like, hands down. But yeah, no, it's
But
like,
like you said, it probably was inspired by it.
yeah, definitely not like
Most
based
likely.
off it, but
No.
inspired, most definitely. It wasn't even funny in my opinion. It was kind of and yeah, no, I just didn't like it. It was shit.
You know what?
Hmm.
I'm not surprised that you thought that it was shit.
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Shit.
Okay. Rating wise,
Rating.
rating.
I mean, okay, so the animatronics, like, some of them were kind of alright, so I guess it can get like a 2 out of 10.
So it wasn't totally shit then.
No, I mean, like, the costumes, like, the I'm not really sure what you would call it, but I guess the fairy-ish?
The production designs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, the fairy one was pretty alright, actually. It was disturbing to look at. It could have probably made a good villain in a different movie. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
All right. Gray, what are your thoughts about Willy's Wonderland? You love this one, right?
That is completely subjective because I didn't really love it. And okay, so here's my take on it.
Yeah.
It is a full-on parody that was inspired by the series of Five Nights at Freddy's. Main reason being is that Nick Cage's character just goes ham on these robots, right? I
Yeah.
see it more as like a action comedy than it is an action horror because you gotta take my breaks every 45 minutes, man. Just going in, tearing up these bots, and just cleaning up this place like his life depended on it. Because it does. He kind of wants to get out. But, I mean, so we're going to be starting from the bottom up. So, first off, the side characters. Hardly enjoyable. They were just a patch of cliches and stuff like that. The sheriff just, like, lives in consistent and constant fear of this place. And it's understandable why, but that just led to a whole lot of dumb decisions on her part. Like, easily at the end of the movie. Can we spoil the movie, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
If someone hasn't seen the movie, go and watch it before you continue listening.
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the whole thing about it is that they outnumber the animatronics like 4-1 at some point, and they put their biggest weapon on the floor, just like offered them up, like kill this motherfucker. And it's like, really? Like, don't you want to be free of this? Like, she's been so closed off in her mind that it's just leading to one dumb decision after another.
Yeah.
And like the other kids that are not live, the other kids, they're just straight up stupid. They all fit a cliche one way or another. You always have those two that always decide to go off and have sex in a super dangerous place that they know people don't come out from.
Yeah, they go and have sex for no other reason than to get killed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Basically, all of the side characters, besides the main girl and Nick Cage's character, are just
Also the
cannon
deputy.
fodder. Yeah.
The deputy, he was halfway decent, but his part was played as a coward. Like I can't blame the actor. The actor's pretty good.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he gets screwed over too. Not gonna say how, not gonna say when, but he does. But okay, now on to the animatronics. I would have to say that they're semi-decent, most of them. Fairy one was definitely disturbing, and the Weasel one looked lanky as fuck, and just like the rest of them. Like, I understand that he was a weasel and stuff like that, but they could have made him like a little bit more menacing if he was the main big bad. Like, say, change up his design little by little as one of them got offed, you know? Like, he could have looked like completely normal at the beginning, and then as he's the only one remaining, it could have just looked like a destitute monstrosity of horror and malevolence. But no, he looks the same unassuming way throughout the entire movie up until he gets his first kill.
Yeah.
And alongside that, I would have to say that all of the animatronics had their own quirks and stuff like that. But it's really hard to get to know how they worked, really. Like, what their shtick was. Because they were all just cannon fodder to the cage. I mean, he straight up curb stomps one of them, and then he slams another one, like, into the wall repeatedly.
Yeah.
And then he does, like, freaking Mortal Kombat fatalities on it, which isn't really scary or action. If anything, it just makes it kind of funny that he just rips out their frames and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, the whole shtick with the film is that he is not trapped inside there with them; they're trapped in there with him.
Yeah, like
I think they even say that in the film, and that's a reference to something.
Watchmen.
Come again?
It was a reference to Watchmen, basically Rorschach to the entire prison block in which he put people away, because the whole thing about it was that Rorschach had to go to jail to answer for what he did. But all the prisoner folk are all like, oh yeah, we're just gonna fuck him up, we're gonna like beat him to an inch of his life, we're gonna make this place a living hell for him every second of the way. And then he goes and fucks up the big bad and all his goons, and he announces to the rest of the prison, I'm not trapped in here with you. You are trapped in here with me.
Is that in the Watchmen movie?
Yes, it is both in the movie and in the comics.
I need to rewatch the Watchmen movie. I haven't seen it since it came out. But there was a journalist who said something in the lines that about Doom 2016 that the Doomslayer isn't in hell, trapped in hell with the demons. The demons are trapped in hell with the Doomslayer. And I thought that was that line in the movie was a reference to that. But yeah, it could be a homage to the Watchmen movie as well, then.
Yeah. But I was going to get to that. See, the animatronics weren't that much different other than Willy the Weasel, who actually gave him a challenge. But the main two characters, Liv and Nick, because we don't even understand what his name is. He never says anything, doesn't disclose anything. He's just known as the Lone Wanderer, and I name him that for a specific reason. You'll find out why. So Liv sees the Lone Wanderer being taken to this place by the Towman. She understands what exactly is going on, and the plot is exposited in the dumbest way possible. It is literally a who the fuck asked situation. And she even leads off with like, and I bet you're asking why. And me and Angel both in unison said, nobody fucking asked. But here's our lore dump. And it is like, I get it. She's like the girl who's like, she's like the rebel who fights for justice and stuff like that. In her own little way, she wants this place to see burned down, and she does not think with her head on her shoulders at all until like later in the movie, which regrettably gets all of her friends killed because she's like, you know what, I'm gonna go in and I'm convinced that guy. And then she gets to him. He's like, I'm working. What do you want? Like, just gives her that look and just goes back to whatever he's doing.
Yeah, I love how his reaction is like, I don't care, get out of my way, I need to clean.
Like, that's pretty much one of the only enjoyable parts about this movie is Nick's demeanor to the main girl. Just like, I'm trying to work. I literally do not care. And she's a bit annoying in that she comes off as like overly wanting to help, even though her capacity to help is very, very minimal up until later in the movie. Now, for the main star, the one that they probably spent a lot of the budget on, Nick Cage. So his character I would deem closer to a Fallout or Elder Scrolls protagonist. Like, you know the kind, right? The guy who just strolls into
Yeah.
town and then just does quests for people willy-nilly,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, go kill this bandit raider camp, and you'll get a bounty off of it. Or I'm missing this thing and these people stole it. Can you get it back for me? Like, that's the kind of guy that you would send that Nick Cage to go to.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is that he's really, really competent in all that he does, and he has a one-track mind, pretty much like a player from an Elder Scrolls or Fallout game would be. Like, I don't care about exposition. Skip. I'm doing work.
Yeah, and like I feel like every other character, the moment they start talking to him, turns into an NPC
Yeah.
Yes.
in their dialogues.
He's an Oblivion NPC.
Because you can totally see the dialogues just pop up while they talk to him. Especially during when Liv started talking to him. It felt like, yeah, exposition time. I want to skip that.
He's and you know how he was playing pinball during that entire exposition dump? The whole thing about it was that I equated that to someone sitting through an unskippable cutscene just playing on their mobile phone. Just like waiting for that cutscene
totally.
to pass.
Oh yeah.
But the whole thing about it is that the funniest part, I think, in the movie is whenever he's about to square off against another one of these animatronics, and then his beeper rings, and he's just like looking at it, and he's like, "Okay, here's a knife. Go take care of it. I'm on break
Like-
later."
Legit, I had to pause the movie. That was so funny to me. Just, I had a suspicion, like, what happened? What would happen if that were to happen? And then it did, and he just watches his clock, and then the chameleon just like, here, you take it. I'm on my break. Like,
I'm on break. I'm not dealing with this right now.
I love that scene. It's so fucking funny.
It is
he
the
just
one.
popped out.
It is the one redeeming scene of this movie, and that is a stretch because this movie rates on a 3 out of 2. Because it doesn't get automatically deducted points because I haven't seen a Nick Cage movie in a while because, reasons. He's in every single movie. But I think that this is one of his better recent performances, even if he doesn't say anything. Because he sticks to the character and he knows exactly what he's doing. But the whole thing about it is that, you want to know my theory?
Yeah. Go ahead.
The guy from Con Air. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
The guy from Con Air became a mute after his son grew up and he decided to wander the country, and he runs into this shit. He's like, fuck it. Let's do it. Why not?
Okay. Do you have anything else to say about it?
Not really. The kills were pretty they were pretty minimalistic. The camera work really needs some work because it was shaky during all the intense scenes. And I'm like, this makes it more intense than it needs. This makes it more intense than it already is, and it's not even that intense at all, if at all. You know.
Mm.
The whole thing about the camera work is that it barely conveys what exactly is going on, and instead of putting it in the bigger picture, they're just focused on the reactions and the anger and the intense stuff, and it's just like I can't really feel or detract anything from this because it's already set at a low bar. Like, they're trying to make it really intense, really actiony with minimal movement, and that ain't gonna fly, even if it is like a horror comedy or an action horror or something like that. Because I would put this as a horror. I would put this as an action comedy. Because let's be honest, we all see the twists coming. It's not even that scary.
Yeah.
Something that annoys me is honestly the ending where Livius gets in the car with Nick. Now, okay, we all know Nick. Like, we all would get in a car with him. Like, okay, cool, that's Nick Cage. Nothing to be worried about. This girl does not know this man. You do not get in a car with a fucking stranger.
Exactly. You don't know where he's headed to. Like, why does she
I feel like
trust
that
him
just-
so much?
Well, she didn't have anything left in the town.
That's what I
But
figured.
didn't you all see the intense staring contest?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like they were fucking each other with their eyes, basically. But it's like, he's basically a fucking pedophile. She looks to be like 15.
No,
I feel like
think
that-
she's
that's
like
just-
17 or something.
Still, she's underage. Don't get in.
I feel like that's very on par with like the game feel of the movie. That's something that would happen in a game.
Yeah.
On the bright side, the only thing that came out of this was that Nick Cage got a companion. That's it. That's literally all that happened. Like,
Yeah.
not even like, we know for a fact that she just has nothing left in that town, so she just hops in that car. But the justification is that there is none.
What would your rating be, Gray?
3 out of 10.
3 out
It
of
is
10.
just pure action schlock, and not even good at that. The only redeeming parts about the movie are few and far in between, and I wouldn't say I would watch it all the way through. I would just watch it to that one point where it just says, fuck it, I'm on my break, and 3-word plays. That's it.
Okay, harsh words. Zombie, what are your thoughts about Willy's Wonderland?
I came into the movie like expecting it to be very like cringe, bad and whatnot. And it did deliver on many of those promises, but at the same time I was not expecting to like this movie as much as I did. I think it's very much a guilty pleasure of mine the second I was like 20 minutes in, because I love Cage's character. Just this stoic, quiet gamer protagonist with his quest on, and he's not gonna budge from it 1 inch. And the rest of the characters were very uninteresting, and some of them were very like, yeah, were NPCs and whatnot. But I did like how they were very obvious NPCs the second they started talking to Cage, and just that one scene where he takes his priorities with the break. I couldn't stop laughing when he did that. And I think it might be the cleaner person in me that loved seeing him start cleaning up the place. Like, yes, do it.
Like,
Get this place clean.
like when he was like removing that dust and there was nothing left after.
That was amazing. That whole
Yes.
thing gets a point, an entire point.
Like that was
Yeah.
some sexy shit right there. Like,
And like the before and after in the both the whole place, but also in the toilet stalls, with how dirty it was, and then it was just so clean. And yeah, so I enjoyed those a lot, those scenes, even though they did drag on a bit. Other characters, meh. The story was predictable, and they could have done better work, and I feel like many or some of the animatronics got nerfed pretty quick, especially the siren after the first scene we had with her when she was with Liv, and she was this smooth, fast, agile character, and then like 2 seconds later she got punched twice in the face just standing there. And I feel like that was very much lost potential between a fight with her and Cage. And yeah, I just enjoyed watching this movie. I do agree with earlier mentions of this is not a horror movie. This is an action comedy. And yeah, it is. It's not scary. I don't really think they have any effective like jump scares either, actually, in this one.
It got
And
one.
yeah.
It got one.
Yeah.
in the air duct vents when she's crawling
Yeah.
through the air duct vents and the crocodile or alligator or whatever the fuck he is, animatronic.
Yeah.
Jumps in behind her.
I couldn't
Yeah.
really keep my eyes on that scene because if I'm being honest, my statement about the camera work in that movie earlier rings true here. Because my goodness, there was no focus. It was all just.
Yeah. The camera work was something. And the acting was like the rest of the movie subpar in most places, and I do like Nick Cage's just expressions throughout the whole movie of either I don't give a shit or pure confusion. And some of the kills could have gone either shorter or simply better off than what they did, especially the side characters, because I felt like the one in the blinking lights room was very like prolonged, and it could have been shot a lot better with both angles and like
Oh yeah, the
intensity of it.
stroboscope room. Yeah,
Yeah.
that particular scene was kind of irritating for the eyes because of the
Well, not-
blinking.
Yeah.
Well,
the
not only
blinking,
that, but if you piece together the entire scene, if it's well lit, you just see stills of him wandering around an empty room, wondering where the heck is he going, trying to find an exit when there was one just right behind him earlier. But
Yeah,
he
and
moved too
just
far into the room.
them being behind him, he running away, them being behind him, he being somewhere else without them being like close to him again, like continuously. And it could have been made shorter and more effective, I feel.
Like I have expected the light to go off and then the next shot him missing his arm.
Yeah, something like it goes dark and something pops up and it's gruesome. And him screaming and whatnot. But that kill was very disappointing out of all of the kills. That was the one that I was most disappointed in. Because of the potential that they put up. But yeah, I think...
I mean, the second one to that is pretty much just one of the animatronics, just Warwick jumping on the couple that was having sex.
Yeah. During that whole scene, it felt like you just went into the place where not only did a bunch of serial killers off themselves, but it's also the room where they murdered like families.
Yeah.
And you decided to have the hanky panky right smack there. Like, what? Like, I know there's people that's freaky, but then there's people that are stupid. Just stupid.
I mean, there's freaky and then there's freaky.
And then there's
Yeah.
freaky.
And then there's just plain stupidity. Why are you even doing this at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all no brain, all stupid.
No brain, head empty.
Yeah.
Head
No
empty, no
thought.
thoughts.
But yeah, I would rate this a 6 out of 10. And I will watch it again because, goddamn, I'm hooked on this movie for some reason. I don't know why.
Also, the Cage of Mania. Can't forget
Yeah.
that.
I mean, Zombie, it's just called bad taste.
It's called the guilty pleasure. Come on, dude.
No, it's called good taste, and that's what I'm fucking talking about. Zombie's my homeboy.
Alright, guys, we lost Joseph. Guess it's just us finishing this up now.
Okay, so we have a divide.
Well, my opinion is that I think that Willy's Wonderland is good but trash entertainment. I mean, the movie is dumb as a sack of rocks, but since how over the top everything in it is, and the fact that the movie is self-aware in a sense that it knows how ridiculous it is. I think
Yeah.
I think it makes it a good but brain dead watch. Like you guys already said, I'm just gonna repeat a lot of what you guys said. It's not scary in the slightest, but I personally think it has a pretty high tempo throughout it.
Yeah.
There isn't that much filler in there. The script in itself is pretty straightforward, at least for, at least as a modern slasher type of movie, because this is a slasher movie, but with animatronics. And one thing that you guys said, that it's more of an action movie, I wouldn't say it's more of an action movie, because a horror movie doesn't necessarily need to be scary to be a horror movie. For example, all of the Friday the 13th sequels, I don't think anyone thinks those are scary, but they're still horror movies.
I think in those instances it's more they were scary at the time rather than they're not scary now.
Yeah, maybe.
And like
But-
this movie came out this year and it's not scary now and it's not gonna become scary later.
No, but that's the whole thing with it. It's it's action packed and
I
it's
mean,
not
if you're
scary.
afraid of Nick Cage, then yeah, it's scary.
Especially Nick Cage that doesn't talk. My
Yeah.
goodness, that man keeps his silence out the whole time. You
Mm-hmm.
bet that there was an outtake of him holding that head somewhere and just saying a cheesy one-liner.
Yeah, there probably was. By the way, what did you guys think about the reasoning for the animatronics to be alive? The whole serial killer cult.
It was a
Possessive one.
very like BS. What's it called? Like excuse. Like
Yeah.
the idea at first where like, oh, it's a fun land and it's quote unquote rehabilitated serial killers working there. That idea I can buy, but that they made a satanic ritual and nah. For Chucky, yeah, it worked. This,
Remember, kids. If you're trying to make a good horror movie plot, just add demons. Just add Satan.
Like it would have been easier to just say that their spirits never left, bloodthirsty for more, and they started haunting the place and possessed the animatronics, and that would have been like an easier explanation, because it doesn't always have to convert to Satanism, because like everyone is trying to make Satanism evil. Like
maybe Satan is a chill guy that likes to like knit and shit and drink his tea, and then we all hear us like giving him shit.
yeah,
Poor Satan.
Well,
it just feels like a very like we need them to like come back from the dead. How do we do it? Satanism and satanic rituals. Just say ritual. You don't need to add Satan to it to make it like seem more evil, or just say possession from over the grave.
Or say that there was a workplace accident that caused the kitchen to explode, and it took all of them with it. But due to the nature of their actions and what exactly happened, their spirits never exactly left the place because it was so permeated with evil and all this bad shit that they've done with all the restless souls and whatnot. And
Yeah, it was
eventually
local
the
blood.
animatronics started moving around on their own.
Yeah.
But that's if they were actually trying to make a plot. Because from the statements that they said and the things that were shown within those statements, it shows very much how little they cared. They just wanted to see Nick Cage beat up a bunch of dumb robots.
Yeah.
Fallout protagonist style.
Stinky.
Oh no, we lost her.
Sorry, I had to go do
Yay.
something real quick.
lost it.
But-
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like even for this movie, that was like it felt like, okay, right, sure, whatever.
That you could definitely tell that plot was the afterthought whenever they got to
Yeah.
that scene.
They just needed a quick explanation, like, okay, so how did they become these animatronics? Satanic ritual. You got it.
Wow, so much hatred. I actually thought the reasoning for them, moving around, killing people was pretty clever.
I mean, that's because you get bad taste. That's all there is.
No, I got good tastes.
No,
I enjoy myself a bad movie from time to time.
no.
Like,
So
like,
there's a
I-
difference.
Continuing on, where this is gonna be a long fucking episode. Jesus Christ.
We got a special guest.
I have nothing
of course
against-
It's gonna be long.
I have nothing against the serial killers being in the robots. I just don't like how they explained them being in the robots.
Exactly.
That is all. I just think that they should have had another reason to be in the robots rather than just a satanic ritual.
Or maybe just not have the lore dump go to a person who's willing to skip all the dialogue just so he can play pinball. Just saying.
Yeah,
Like, for
Okay.
real, they could have laid out the plot a little bit more nuanced than that. Like, and I bet you're asking why. The fuck I am? I'm trying to get the high score. Shut up.
Okay, continuing on then. I would say that the best thing with the film is Nick Cage. Really. This is his film. I think he fits perfectly in the role of the quiet loner who will do whatever it takes to get the job done. And we already touched upon the fact that he doesn't give a shit about neither the animatronics trying to kill him nor the dark past of the place.
I mean, whenever he kills an animatronic, he kind of looks like, fuck, I need to clean even more now.
Yeah, and he
like-
just changes the shirt.
Honestly, like, the first shirt change, I thought he was getting a crop top for a second. I was like, don't tell me they're putting Nick Cage in a crop top.
Thank goodness they did not. They just put him in a one-size-fits-all work shirt.
like after the first attack, I was like, how are they gonna do it now? How is he gonna react? Like, is he gonna try and escape? Is he gonna fight the rest? Is this gonna be a bloodbath from now on? But no, he just packaged the ostrich up and continued with work. Like, that just happens sometimes.
Like, they
Sometimes
locked him in for no reason. Like, they could have just left the back door open. It's just like, oh, well, alright, I'll just go out, toss this into the dumpster, go back in. Like, he would have willingly done that.
Yeah.
In fact,
Like,
he does that.
He legit did at one point.
Just, like, tosses all the bodies into the thing, just like, okay, you go in there, and you go in there. And then just walks back in like nothing happened. Like I said,
Yeah.
with the Fallout 1 character mentality.
Yeah, well,
I love that about his character, how he just didn't get phased. He was just more cleaning.
he just wants to do his job, get his car back. Whatever happens besides that isn't important to him. I personally just find that so fucking funny.
Yeah.
The rest of the cast, I think it was okay. Even though the characters are mainly there to fill up the running time and add to the body count. And in short terms, they, like I said earlier, they're just cannon fodder.
90% of the cast died.
Yeah. And well, I don't have any problems with that, really. It's a staple of the slasher genre. But on the other hand, I would have probably liked the movie, even though if it was just Nick Cage versus killer animatronics for 90 minutes as well.
Yeah.
You know, if they added like 4 or 5 more animatronics, and the entire movie was just Nick Cage battling these animatronics without anyone else interfering.
Question to everyone.
Mhm.
For the movie, what did you think of the music for it?
I loved it.
And the
loved
fact that
think-
Nick Cage was bobbing his head to head, shoulders, knees, and toes at one point, just
Yeah.
I loved the main theme.
It's your birthday and...
No, Willy's Wonderland. It plays.
Yeah.
It plays during the scene when Nick Cage is dancing at the pinball machine.
Yeah. I
Well-
like the majority of the music.
I mean, like the whole like it's your birthday, blah blah blah. It got stuck in my head for the rest of the night.
I feel like that is very fitting for a place such as Willy's Wonderland. Like, I could legit hear that tune play in a real, like, setting, like a Chuck E. Cheese kind of thing.
Yeah.
and the original Willy's Wonderland song. Yeah, I kind of vibe to that. And you're right about the music. It's definitely the best part about this movie. Another whole ass point. Totally got to a 3 out of 10.
Just howling up.
Yes.
But yeah, I think Willy's Wonderland is just a lot of fun, and it's.
And you're
it's-
wrong.
No, I'm right. And it's just silly, gory, over the top nonsense, which fits at least me perfectly. It doesn't try to be something fancy. It tries to be a fun popcorn flick, and I think it achieves that very well. And
I would say that you would be able to. I would say that the regular person that is just getting into, like, just watching a movie, I would say this is something that you put on in the background just in case y'all don't have anything to talk about.
yeah,
and then
this
you make
is
conversation
a
pieces.
this is a party movie. If you sit down like 6 people and just drink beer and just sit down and talk, you put on this in the background just to have a laugh at what's happening on the screen from time to time, you know.
Okay,
But
I'm just gonna
anything's
go.
way
Yeah.
better with friends, so it's not that high of a bar.
I mean, I'm just gonna say like this. It's pretty much a movie, a Netflix and chill movie. It's a movie you put on. You don't care about watching it. All you do is fuck to it.
I don't think I would fuck to the scene where people would, have sex in the demon room. I think I would be pretty unsettled and get really soft really fast. I'd be like,
That's
okay.
when you skip forward.
That's whenever you hit the fast forward button.
My
good
my,
bits.
my rating will be a 10 out of 10, of course, because this movie is brilliant.
So we lost
Nice.
Joseph again. Guys, this is
Man
really
of
getting
culture.
to be a problem here.
A lot of interference
Man of
on this
culture.
episode.
Man, like I can still hear him, like he's here with us.
Fuck
It's
you,
like he never
Edgar.
left.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like he's still here with us.
It's by the way, something I really liked in the movie was the energy drinks.
Oh yeah.
Cage was drinking. They were called Punch,
I think.
and it had a text that said "a fistful of caffeine for your kisser."
Okay, I missed that. That's actually pretty good.
I thought it was
Not gonna cheat
beer.
Yeah,
Okay,
I thought so as well the first time I saw the film, but the second time around, I was looking a bit more closely what it said on the count.
I saw the punch part, but I didn't see the other.
You have to pause it in a specific scene. I think it's during the pinball dance scene. You can see you can see the text on the can.
Like, the first time he drank one of those cans, it felt like it was just gonna diverge into a commercial, like, punch for your enjoyment.
No, Punch. A fistful of caffeine for your kisser.
Yeah. Like, it felt like the way he was like this badass silent, just opening it and drinking. I felt like,
And he's
okay,
like,
so like when is the commercial gonna end?
Okay, so the whole thing about it is that, so I can imagine Nick Cage drinking one of those and making that dumbass Pepsi faces, full on goatee and everything, just like goop, goop, goop.
Yeah. So basically, this movie is a caffeined up Nick Cage beat up animatronic.
yeah, sort of. Okay, do you guys
Full of life of caffeine.
do you guys have any final thoughts on the film?
The place had a lot of duct tape.
There were no
Oh, yeah.
bandages, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Yeah.
of bull crap.
And also, a thing I noticed was like very game mechanic-y is that the kitchen was like this safe place where he wouldn't get attacked, no matter what. So it was, oh, I go into the kitchen to save the game, and we have duct tape as a med pack.
Yes, they pretty much played it out exactly as I described it.
Yeah,
I
because it felt like
I didn't think about that while I was watching the film, to be honest.
because like I think if you like Resident Evil games have those like safe rooms
Yep.
also,
Yeah, they do.
so it reminded me of that.
Now that you're talking about it,
Like I don't know a lot about Resident Evil, but like I know that Resident Evil 7 has it
yeah, well,
at the very least.
yeah, the older 1, 2, and 3, and yeah, and 4 got save rooms.
Yeah, I really liked those small, like very gamer like details, and just his dancing at the pinball machine at one point.
Which was improvised. Could you
Oh,
tell?
nice.
I could tell.
Oh yeah. Like it felt so out of nowhere, but it was so full of energy that you could not just. Oh yeah.
I was lying down when I was watching the film, so I wouldn't know anything about that.
Too bad.
Okay, should we move into background now?
Unless anyone has anything else to say,
No,
I think we should.
I think we're done with the talking about the film. Okay, we're moving into background now, I guess. The budget was $5 or $5.5 million. I found two different sources. I'm not sure which one is correct.
That's not terribly big.
No. The box office gross in the US and Canada was about $418,000. And the worldwide gross was about $431,000. But there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And I'm coming to it. Willy's Wonderland was originally set for a worldwide theatrical release on October 30th, 2020, but it was postponed in response of the to the COVID-19 pandemic. It was instead released through video on demand with a limited theatrical release in the States. At the same time on February the 12th, 2021 by Screen Media Films. So that's why the box office gross was so small.
I imagine that the digital releases were higher.
Yeah. The film was first announced in October of 2019 by Screen Media Films after screenwriter and producer G.O. Parsons was advised to create a film to expand his career, but was displeased with his first attempt, a short film titled Willy's Wonderland. He put the script on Bloodlist, which is a list of highly anticipated genre scripts, apparently, seeking to have it produced as a full-length film. And shortly after deadline, Hollywood confirmed that Nicolas Cage had joined the cast after the script, which became popular on the site, caught his attention. Cage also agreed to produce the film along with producers Jeremy Davis from JD Entertainment and the veteran actor turned producer Grant Kramer, who appeared in a movie we've covered, which is New Year's Evil from 1980, in which he plays the main character's son. And he also played Mike in one of my personal favorite movies of all time, Killer Clowns from Outer Space from 1988. From Landafar Entertainment. That's his company. In collaboration with Mike Nealon from Cage's Saturn Films. Kevin Lewis was hired as director, while the cast, including Emily Tosta, Beth Grant, and Rick Wrights, joined in February of 2020. After the announcement, the film received a small cult following, with many comparing it to the Five Nights at Freddy's video game series, like we talked about earlier. Although Parsons, which was the scriptwriter, and Lewis, the director, denied any similarities, which is kind of bullcrap. They must have been inspired by that game series.
Yeah, and like, there's no shame in admitting, like...
No, but yeah. They might have gotten some inspiration from the Banana Splits movie as well, which is a killer animatronic movie from 2019. So, which in itself is a parody of a children's show from the late 60s and early 70s. I saw that one back to back with Willy's Wonderland the first time I saw it. So anyway, the custom pinball machine in the film was based on the 1982 Gottlieb table Devil's Dare. Certain changes were made during production. The title was changed from Wally's Wonderland to Willy's Wonderland due to legal issues. And original animatronic characters Douglas Dog, Polly Penguin, Barry Bear, Pirate Pete, and Regina Rabbit were replaced with Archie Alligator, Tito Turtle, Gus Gorilla, Nighty Night, and Cammy Chameleon.
Nighty Night.
He sure made that guy go nighty-night.
Yeah.
Straight up could call him the Sandman.
Principal photography began in February of 2020 for a month in various parts of Atlanta, Georgia. The crew used a desolated bowling alley in the Sprayberry Crossing shopping center in East Cobb, Marietta, for the fictional Willy's Wonderland Family Entertainment Center, setting up a huge base camp with housing facilities for the crew members due to the COVID-19 pandemic restrictions. Special effects for the film were done by production designer Molly Coffey. Her last name is Coffey, okay, whose expertise in design and fabrication with puppetry helped to create the visual movement and appearance for the 8 animatronic characters. On June 25th, 2021, Parsons confirmed that American Mythology Productions would release a comic book series serving as a prequel to the film. Its first issue is set to be released in October of 2021. And that's everything I got for Willy's Wonderland.
Lovely.
Okay, should we wrap things up then?
Yes. And unfortunately, the next movie is unknown because the next movie is Augie's
And
pick.
since he's in Nam, we don't really know what it's gonna be.
So it's gonna be a surprise to all of us,
Yes. And we are playing.
especially you.
And we are playing out with I don't have a clue how the hell you pronounce his name, but Emoi, EMOI, Willy's Wonderland, the main theme of the film.
Nice.
Indeed, it is. Okay, so say goodbye to the good folks then.
Of course.
Goodbye, good people.
Goodbye, good people.
Thanks for listening.
Goodbye, good people, and I hope you all enjoyed this guest appearance. And thanks again for having me on the show.
Oh, you're welcome, man. You're welcome back anytime.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
Yay.
It's lovely to have you
Don't
here.
forget to press that cute subscribe button so you can find your way back here if you enjoy what you heard.
Yeah,
And to know when we release new episodes, so you don't miss them.
exactly.
Goodbye, good people.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thanks for listening.